My friend. In the chilling recount of a real-life crime saga, the city of Seattle is gripped by fear as 6 young women mysteriously vanish within 6 months, their names etched in grim police files. Detectives Herbs and Lucas lead a desperate investigation, their spirits crushed until they uncover a sinister pattern. A call from a terrified woman introduces the name Theodore Bundy, a revelation that sends shockwaves through the police station. As Kathy listened to Elizabeth, who was known as Liz, recount the disturbing events, her heart raced with a mixture of anxiety and hope. This could be the breakthrough they desperately needed. With a sense of urgency, Kathy and her fellow officers decided to call in Ted Bundy for questioning. The anticipation in the room was palpable, and the atmosphere was charged with tension. The man they were about to encounter had become a specter of terror, a master of disguise and deception. Ted Bundy walked into the police station that day, appearing calm and composed, a stark contrast to the monster they had imagined. He was impeccably dressed, his demeanor intelligent and polite, and his every word measured and deliberate. His presence sent shivers down their spines. As Kathy led him into the room, a doubt crept into her mind. Could this well-groomed, articulate man really be the sinister predator they were hunting? She glanced at Liz, seeking confirmation, and Liz nodded, her face etched with fear. The police needed irrefutable evidence, and as a formality, they took Bundy's photo with a slate bearing his name, height, and weight, standard procedure for all suspects. However, when Kathy showed Bundy's photo to the witnesses from Lake Sammamish, the results were disheartening. Out of the 8 witnesses, only 2 identified Bundy as the man they had seen. 6 others shook their heads, vehemently denying that the man in the photo matched the one they had encountered. The evidence was shaky, and without more substantial proof, the case remained mired in uncertainty. The frustration among the police officers was palpable. With no other options left, the police were forced to apologize to Ted Bundy and send him on his way. It was a bitter pill to swallow, and the investigation stood at a standstill, back where it had all begun. But then, inexplicably, a strange calm descended upon the city. For 3 long months, there were no reports of missing or kidnapped women. The absence of terror was a haunting silence, like the calm before a storm. Then came a press conference, where reporters bombarded the police with questions about the stagnating case. The officers, with heavy hearts, shared their grim conclusion. The only way to catch the elusive Ted was if he struck again. The words hung in the air, a chilling admission of defeat. 6 months passed since that press conference, and the city held its breath, waiting for the next nightmare to unfold. And then, on November 8th, a phone call shattered the uneasy peace. A voice on the other end identified themselves as Utah law enforcement. Kathy, confused, asked if this had anything to do with their case. The response was a resounding yes. Officer Kathy rushed to the main phone, her heart pounding, and spoke with the officer from Utah. The story unfolded like a chilling script from a horror movie. A girl named Carol had been at a mall, watching a bookstore, when a young man approached her from behind, introducing himself as a police officer. He claimed someone had tried to break into her car and led her to it. When Carol found nothing amiss, the man suggested she come to the police station to officially report the incident. Carol, uneasy but trusting the man's silver badge, agreed. The car journey that followed was a descent into darkness. It ended at an old school building where her world turned into a nightmare. Kathy and her team listened in horror as the tale continued. Carol had been handcuffed, but with a burst of courage, she managed to escape, leaping from the car and running for her life. She heard the man following her with a crowbar in hand, terror hot on her heels. In her desperate flight, Carol stumbled upon a road, a lifeline, but as she ran, her foot slipped and she fell. The man caught up to her, a sinister presence looming, ready to strike. Carol, fueled by fear and adrenaline, fought back with all her might, delivering a fierce punch to the man's eye. She then sprinted towards the safety of a passing car, desperate for refuge. The driver, sensing her distress, allowed her inside, and Carol begged him to take her to the police station. As Carol recounted her harrowing escape to the police, a new development added an even more sinister layer to the unfolding horror. Another report had come in, this time from Utah. A schoolgirl named Debbie Kent had gone missing from Viewmont High School. The chilling detail was that Debbie's car remained in the school parking lot, a silent testament to her mysterious disappearance. Panic swept through the Utah Police Department as they desperately searched for any leads. Back at the police station, the key found in Debbie Kent's school parking lot was placed on a table right within Carol's line of sight. She noticed it, her eyes widening in shock. The key looked eerily familiar, triggering a cascade of memories. Carol slowly extended her trembling hand, her mind racing. She couldn't believe what she was about to attempt. With a heart pounding in her chest, she placed the key into the handcuff on her wrist, and to her astonishment, it unlocked. A gasp of disbelief escaped her lips as she freed herself from the handcuffs that Ted Bundy had used to restrain her. Her eyes met those of the bewildered police officers who were equally confounded by this unexpected turn of events. In that moment, amidst the chaos and uncertainty, Carol held in her hand not only the key to her physical freedom, but also a glimmer of hope that could potentially unlock the mystery surrounding the monstrous predator known as Ted Bundy. The police were left in a state of utter bewilderment, struggling to comprehend the bizarre twist of fate that had unfolded before their eyes. As the chilling story unfolded, Kathy's mind raced. She knew they had their man, and a flicker of hope ignited within her. For the first time in 9 months, a woman had escaped Ted Bundy's clutches. Excitement coursed through the police station as the information about Ted's attempt in Utah reached their ears. But then, a grim discovery in Issaquah Forest sent shockwaves through the department. A broken human skull, identified as Brenda's, the first victim. The search widened, and as the officers combed through the forest, they found more gruesome remains. 8 skeletons, 1 for each missing woman. It was a bone-chilling revelation, confirming that a single person was behind these heinous crimes. The city was gripped by fear once more, but the police were determined to bring an end to this reign of terror. Ted Bundy, the predator who had eluded them for so long, would soon face his day of reckoning. But still, Officer Kathy didn't know who this Ted is, but whomever it is, all she wanted to say to him is, "Checkmate!"